And, well, let's begin to look at other aspects of our lives. We look at the polity. I don't think we're doing very much about the polity this morning, but you will be the judge of that. There's nothing we can't, that doesn't have a political aspect, but I very much doubt that we can do that with the first of our two subjects today. Let's look at an aspect of transportation, the administration of it, the roads. In short, I'm talking about safety on the roads in Nigeria. When you say that, of course, you know that we're talking about the Federal Road Safety Corps, and it is headed up, it happens to be headed up by Mr. Dauda Ali Biu. He's the Corps Marshal, and he's our guest this morning. Good morning, Corps Marshal.
Thank you, sir.
Indeed.
Yes.
It's our pleasure to have you.
Thank you, sir.
Now, you've been Corps Marshal all of this year. In fact, you were fully confirmed in December last year.
Yes.
So we can say that you started work in December, but all of this year till present time, you've been, on the job.
Yes.
How has it been? Let me be more specific. Do you think things have changed since you came on board? That might be a good place to start.
Yes. When we came in, in any organization, the level of motivation of the staff is very critical, because that is what will make them to work and deliver the results. So when I came in, there are some issues on ground. We had this stagnation in promotion of staff, and the thing is affecting their productivity and their output. So along with my management team and the commission, we sat down and reviewed it. We now saw that we have staff who have missed their promotion 7-8 times, not missed the promotion, missed being promoted 7-8 times. That means you have sat for promotion exams over the last 8 years, every year, and you have not been promoted. Yeah, so there was, the morale was down. There was so much agitation.
Was there a reason for that? I don't want to dwell too much.
Yes, mostly,
was there a reason for that?
Mostly is attributed to lack of vacancies. That is, if you promote, where do you take them to? Okay. Yes, so we will now review the whole situation, and so that, yes, we can do it. All we need to do is to open up the system so that more outlets where we can deploy our officers to work with the appropriate rank. So we ended up promoting 7,478 staff last year, January this year at Yego, along with the commission.
7,000?
Yes, 478. So we cleared that backlog. Now what we did was, again, 313 vehicles, patrol vehicles, tow trucks, patrol vehicles, motorbikes were procured and deployed. So we opened more channels, we opened more commands. We opened about 70 additional commands all over the Federation. So we have places to deploy the promoted staff to go and work. So we did that. The result was very impressive. The staff were motivated, they were very happy.
I would say.
When we did that.
7,500
yes,
awaiting their promotion, having qualified for the promotion?
Yes. It's on record. We have cleared that, actually.
Good.
In fact, the promotion for next year that we are working on, we have less than 1,000 staff to promote. Just less than 1,000.
Okay.
Yes.
And that definitely is progress. And
yes.
I can imagine what it would have done by way of morale boosting.
Yes.
Okay. Now, well, since the officers are all now better motivated, I imagine this would have shown in their operations. So I wanted to ask, has this, your core objective, correct me if I'm wrong, is to increase safety on the roads? Is that guess right?
Yes.
Because the federal, it's in your name.
Yes.
The Federal Road Safety Corps.
Yes.
When you look at it statistically, is it getting better?
Or
is it worse? Staying in the
based on the statistics we have, I think we are making progress. It's getting better because if you look at it year on year, January to July, 2022 and then 2023. This year, the the statistics we have, crash level, the number of crashes that occur year on year between this period has been reduced by 17.3%. That is the crashes, road crashes.
Road crashes.
Yes, then injuries that are related to those crashes have also come down by 17.4%. Then the fatalities, that is the death as a result of those crashes, has also come down by 18.4%. Yes, this year, the January, year on year, or 6 months, or half year. Yes, so that is what we have recorded this year so far.
What are the causes of these unfortunate circumstances? Is speed the only culprit? Let's say, because people we know, we know that speed is not helpful at all. But can we say that the work of the FRSC is just about reducing the speed of, vehicles?
No, it's not. Speed is not the only causative factor for crashes. In any crash, you see so many factors involved, but then you may have speed could be prevalent actually. But but then other crashes too other reasons can lead to that speed, like driving under influence. Yes, that can, when you lose concentration, you lose your sense and go at the toughest speed you can. Then you have the vehicle condition itself.
Okay.
Yes, like bad tires, brake failure, and then the condition of the road itself.
Let me go to something that you just said, the tires.
Yes.
The tires are tremendously important. That's your contact with the ground.
Yes.
And your corps has been at pains to educate us over the years on owners of cars being able to understand the markings of their tires, thereby knowing the condition of this tire when it was manufactured, whether it is still safe, and whether, for instance, you're sitting down here, so you can help us in that, how old a tire is still permissible for use on the roads. Those kind of things surely must be important. And what are you getting? Because I say this because a lot of Nigerians are reported to be buying Tokumbo tires.
Yeah, Tokumbo tires, yes. First, the Tokumbo tire itself, absolutely it is not good for us to use, because they bring those tires from mostly temperate countries, Europe. So the manufacture, the engineering design of those vehicles, of those tires, are meant for those countries, those temperate countries.
The technology.
Not for the technology, yes. Not tropical countries like Nigeria. So then mostly those tires have even expired in those countries.
That's the point.
Yes, and then the way they are even packaged, when you see one roll of tire with about 10 tires put together and roll,
that can be the integrity of the tire.
Yes, it has weakened the tire before it even reaches here.
But why, sir, do you think we are allowing these potential death traps in officially? If the people at the borders or wherever, if they see that these are tires and they are able to ascertain that these are expired tires, why are they able to enter the market for Nigerians to begin to negotiate?
No, those tires are banned. The import of those tires are banned, but they are being smuggled, actually.
Okay.
Yes, they are being smuggled, and there are many ways they smuggle these tires. Some, they beat the security checkpoint and bring in the tires. So what I know is that Standard Organization of Nigeria, they move from point to point, shop to shop, and they confiscate these tires and destroy them.
Oh, so that is an ongoing
It's an ongoing
exercise.
thing. Yes, it's an ongoing thing.
Countrywide?
Countrywide. Standard Organization is on that. So I want to appeal to people, they should not use these Tokumbo tires. They are not good for their safety.
But I got money, because you know, although I'm only being half serious here, I'm being slightly jocular. The price of a brand new Michelin tire, for example, and you compare it with the Tokumbo, because the Tokumbo tire is probably something like 10% maybe of the value of the right thing that you should buy.
Yes.
Our people are in a jam.
Yes. But you must always think of your health, your safety,
course.
The safety of your family, and then the safety of your friend and others. That should be of paramount importance, not how cheap or how. In fact, buying the cheap tire may be more expensive in the long run.
Indeed.
Yes, so we encourage. So I think the fact that it's costly is not an excuse for one to go and buy the bad tire that will lead to crash. You lose your vehicle, you lose your life, you lose your limbs, and then you put your family in distress.
So
yes, so people should try and buy the correct tires.
Indeed. Usually, when we come to the last quarter of the year, people in Nigeria call them the ember months.
Yes.
Kind of thing.
Yes.
We see a lot of some heightened activity from your core. This year is not going to be different, is it?
It's not going to be different. Yeah, but as I told you, we have opened so many commands. For example, like from Lagos, Ibadan now, every 10 kilometers we have a patrol point. We did that as an experiment. We also do that along Kaduna, Abuja highway. So we have deployed, we are going to have maximum deployment on the road. And we have targeted some specific routes for this end of year. Some due to bad roads, like the East-West Road, then Benin, Abuja highway, Abuja, Kaduna highway. You know, we have identified those areas. We are going to do deployment, and we have to be there before the activities start, because you need to get there before the build-up. Then you can control it. So those are some of the things we'll do. We have been able to solve Lokoja, the issue in Lokoja. And then, of course, I'm sure very soon the one in Lagos here at the toll gate, Ojodu Bega, which has been a problem for some times. I'm sure it's being resolved. They are almost completing that project. In fact, we had cause to deploy a 70-ton tow truck recently, about a month or 2 months ago, to that place with a low-bed vehicle and a pickup, so that they will assist in clearing obstruction in case there is a breakdown at that point. So those are and we deploy. We have our men are undergoing training now. We are going to deploy them, and they will be very active during that period. Well, so we hope that we'll be able to control the situation.
You said that the crash rate, auto accidents,
yes,
it has come down.
Yes,
yes. And I'm sure you're going to keep working at it. You want to
get
it even better,
lower it
even further.
Yes.
You also said that. Did you say every 10 kilometers you have a patrol point?
That's Lagos. It's an experiment we did.
Oh, okay.
Lagos, Ibadan.
Expressway.
Then Abuja, Kaduna. Yes. So we have a patrol every 10 kilometers. So that we have that coverage, like the total coverage of the road. On the other side, 10 kilometers.
We have more men.
Yes, we have more men. We have more vehicles.
You're able to do that. Now, what are those men looking for? What they are there? They have a brief. Number one, they're there. Anybody has to know that that's FRSC. Yes. So you need to make sure that your speed is the right one.
Particularly speed.
Is it just by eye that people determine the speed? Because we see in other climbs, they point a laser gun at them.
Yes,
and so they know how much they're doing over the speed limit.
Yes. What we do, we have the speed radar gun, not adequate, not what we really wanted. And then we have in some states now, they have the speed detector. They mounted it on the highway. We have them in Kaduna State, along the highway, Then we are also working with Dangote group of companies. They are going to provide some on the major highways. But what we do for now, we have what we call traffic calming. That is, our men move to the roadside, especially the issue we have between Lagos and Ibadan is speed. Yes, because the road is clear.
And what is the legal speed on those kind of stretches?
For all vehicles, it's 100 kilometers per hour for smaller vehicles. Yes, we have those with buses at 80 kilometers, and then we have trucks at 60 kilometers on the highways.
And that's what it should be.
That's how it should be. That's what it should be.
And because people think that there's a good stretch of road, there's no car in front of me, as far as I can see, there are minutes like that. They then put the pedal to the metal,
yes,
and they just go flat out. people need to be more disciplined because anything can happen, is what you're saying. And people have said that there's nothing now, what am I? And so they just, people, I suppose there's an orientation aspect to your work. Where
yes, we do.
Have to be taught.
We do on radio, television, we do motor park rallies. In fact, every morning there's what we call early morning cry. Our operatives, they visit motor park before the drivers set on their journeys and then talk to them, appeal to them, obey road traffic rules, don't speed, don't do dangerous overtaking, and so on and so forth. So as I said earlier, we have this calming device. What we do is it's an internally developed strategy where we give our operative red flag at different point on the road, just to be calming drivers down. Those are local innovations that we do.
As we're speaking, we're hearing that there's a breaking news item. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory is, I think, addressing the press. There was a building collapse yesterday, and right now.
I was scheduled for this meeting before we were told. Let me thank agencies, particularly NEMA and FEDA, that have supported us to rescue not more than 32 lives. It's unfortunate for the two that are dead. I will please to the Permanent Secretary to make sure that funds are raised to pay the hospital bills of those who are rescued. So that we don't want to hear any of this kind of one person have and that should be done immediately. Secondly, these are the things we have been saying. Nobody knows whose turn it will be. Therefore, it is important that when government says they will take action on certain areas, I won't believe illegal development. With the standard rules. Scholars see everybody has any personal better. But for God, we have not literally anybody. And this is what we are trying to kill. I do not know why it has taken long that SK did not settle them. And so we'll take immediate action to see the enemies of this area settled, and then government has to plan this place. But when government says take building plan, it is not as if government wants to suffer anybody. It's to make sure that everybody is protected, focus our plan, and to forestall this kind of
Okay, that's the minister there, as everybody can see. Yes, on Wike, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory. The sound is not the best. We're working on that. But the story is that a building has collapsed and 37 have been rescued, 2 fatally injured, and rescue efforts are ongoing. It's a 2-story building. It served as both the residential and commercial purpose. It served both purposes, residential and commercial. It collapsed on Wednesday night. There were, residential areas above the ground floor, all of which was for commercial purposes. This event happened at Lagos Street, Garki Village, opposite the Garki police station, I beg your pardon, opposite the Garki police station in the FCT. Once again, 37 persons were rescued alive. 2 others, unfortunately, were fatally injured. I guess that means they died. Fatally. They died, I think. So, the Federal Capital Territory Emergency Management Agency search and rescue team is actually awaiting excavators to intensify the search to ensure that no victim, perchance, is left in the rubble of the collapsed building. The audio is not as good as we would have liked for you to hear, but the minister has just finished speaking, and of course, we'll keep you posted on updates as they come. Okay, then. So, as you know, in studio we have Mr. Dauda Ali Biu, Corps Marshal, Federal Road Safety Corps, and we're looking at the operations of his corps. And so let me just ask, it looks like everything is going according to plan. Figures that we don't like are coming down. Fatality figures, accident figures are coming down. So I wanted to ask, what are the plans that you have? Because I know you must have plans to make this even better.
Yeah, as I said earlier, we need equipment, modern equipment, technological equipment to improve on what we are doing. And I've brought this to the notice of my supervisor, the secretary to the government of the federation, and he's working on it. And then we are looking forward to completion of some of the roads that are being constructed, which we believe, if those roads are okay and good, the crashes that happen on those roads too will come down. Then we have also identified, as we mentioned earlier, speed. It's a very critical factor. So we are developing a policy on speed limiter going forward. The document is being worked on. We have done a stakeholders meeting under the supervision of the SGF. Everybody is involved. SON, Customs, Nigerian Automotive Development Council, Ministry of Transport, and other stakeholders. Okay. Yes. So the policy we want to drive is that vehicles that are being imported, especially commercial vehicles that carry goods and passengers that are being imported from outside, they must come with a pre-fitted speed limiting device.
Okay,
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's what you're working on
yes,
now.
Yes.
And if all goes well, these kind of vehicles, these specially equipped vehicles, will begin to enter circulation. When is your projection?
Well, the policy must be approved first.
Yes, I know.
But then,
but are we looking at
no, immediately once the policy is approved?
Yes, but even that idea, might it take us until the middle of next year?
No, we hope to get it done this year.
Okay.
Yes, between now and December. Yes, and then those that the manufacturers of vehicles in Nigeria too. The policy will ensure that vehicles manufactured in Nigeria are fitted with those devices before they come out of the factory. Yes.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you for coming.
Several other things, which I don't know.
Well,
maybe you
several
have
other things. The time is the problem. But for example, if you had to put it under a heading, some of those several other things, what would you say was the most important?
Yes, the speed.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is very important because we notice that speed-related crashes are more, and the fatalities from those crashes are much more. And then we are also working with the Nigerian Bar Association to prosecute drivers that involve passengers in crashes, injuries, and death. We prosecute them so that the victims should have a right too.
Okay.
Yeah, we are working as usual with NVA. A committee is already working on that.
You know, I get the impression that we're going to have to find a way to invite you back,
okay.
To come and talk a bit more about this very, very important function that people do.
All right.
So I want to thank you very much, Mr. Dauda Ali Biu, Corps Marshal, Federal Road Safety Corps, and congratulations on bringing the figures down, these statistical figures of deaths and fatalities. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Indeed.
It's a pleasure being with you this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, stay with us, please. We'll be right back.
My dark marks, I've tried everything. Nivea Lumina 630 works from day one with visible results in just 2 weeks and 71% dark marks reduction in 12. Join the 1 million women already using Lumina 630 from Nivea.
Oh, you can reach the stars, anything your heart believes. Oh, just
Here's to the art defiers, to those who break through the limits, to those who always go for it.
Every major news story is with many perspectives and layered with different levels of impact.
Hello. What time did they...
TVC News, first with breaking news.
Okay, welcome back. Let's switch our attention to another important aspect of our lives, and that's tourism. I don't know that Nigerians are, they've actually had the opportunity to take, advantage of our tourism potentials. We have other areas of the world where they have the culture, they work for a whole year, save up for the whole year, put together some funds, and then blow it on a trip, on a touristic activity that might be 2-3 weeks, and they come back refreshed. I'm suspecting that the average Nigerian, you put money in his hands that he saved like that and go and blow it in, when I say go and blow it, maybe I'm being flippant, invest it in tourism, go out of your normal, your normal routine, all of which cost money. There will be hotel bills to pay, there will be transportation and all of that and all of that. You know what I'm talking about. I get the impression sometimes that if you were to give Nigeria, the average Nigerian, money for a tourist, for tourism on an annual basis, he's going to have one thing or the other that he'd much rather put his money in. The person who can talk to me about this this morning is Alhaji Badaki Aliu. Alhaji Badaki Aliu is of the Federation of Tourism Associations of Nigeria, where he is the first deputy president. Good morning to you, Alhaji Aliu.
Good morning, my brother. How are you? Good morning, Nigeria.
Yes, thank you very much. Well, first of all, do you want to disprove anything that I've said, that I don't know how well off we are in Nigeria, or this tourism is actually, it's not so much an internal thing as an external thing? Well, just let me start off like that.
Pardon?
Oh, you didn't hear me well.
Yeah, I can hear you now, please.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That's technical. So I was saying, if you heard my introduction, what I was saying was that the average Nigerian might not feel that he can afford to, be involved in the tourism trade. He's probably going to say, where's the money? I've not eaten yet. You're talking tourism. So is tourism for visitors, for outsiders, or is there a Nigerian aspect to it too? Let me start off like that.
Yeah, thank you very much. If you have that notion, it will be a misconception. Tourism is for everybody. You don't have to be too rich, and before you can engage in it, consciously or unconsciously. We all, one way or the other, involved in tourism. What is tourism? It's a way of life. You move from one destination to another in order to enjoy yourself, areas of leisure, and in some cases, transaction of businesses or health. So consciously or unconsciously, we are involved in one way or the other. You don't have to be too rich to be there, though in embarking on tourism, you need to exchange some valuable money too to be able to embark on it. So it's for everybody.
It is for everybody. So it's a matter of attitude then. As far as the internal aspect of tourism is concerned, people just have to have the attitude that you owe yourself this favor. I think I can see what's going on now. So sorry about that. But if you can hear me now, could you confirm that you can hear me so I could continue speaking? Can you hear me? Okay. I'm not getting the confirmation, so it means probably not hearing me. Can you hear me, Alhaji Aliyu?
I can hear you, my brother.
Okay. Let's proceed. First of all, let me apologize to the viewers for what you're hearing, the echo of everything I say showing up in Abuja and coming to you at home. Sorry about that, but we'll manage. Now, Alhaji Aliyu, I wanted to ask, the tourism ministry that is new, it's a fresh ministry that's standing on its own. Did you expect that?
I can tell you that we expect that. But before then, we have to thank the President, Commander-in-Chief of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for creating tourism department, tourism ministry for the professionals and for the country. It shows clearly that this is a listening government, and the president himself, it shows clearly that it's with the people. Why do I say that? We've been agitating for this for long, for more than 8 years now, for a standalone ministry to take care of tourism, and we've not been able to get it. And when he took over, the advocacy continued, and we're happy that the president is able to listen to us and his team to create the Ministry of Tourism. It's really, really a welcome development.
Well, okay, let's also, thank you for that. Let's also go, they say culture actually can drive tourism, and probably does. Speak to me about the connection between culture and tourism in there, and where Nigeria stands and what the potentials are for Nigeria.
You can hardly separate culture from tourism, or tourism from culture. Culture is the content at which tourism drives. In most places, when you embark on tourism activities, culture is the major content you see all over there. Let's talk about a tourism destination. When you're there in a tourism destination, you have artifacts, you have some like monuments that drives the people that want to embark on tourism activities to come there. And in embarking on tourism activities, when you get there, the people around there, you see a lot of cultural activities to be imbibed, or you enjoy while you are doing that. So culture generally is the major content that drives tourism activities. In area of embarking on tourism, you notice that you can hardly separate the two aspects of life. That's the culture and the tourism.
Indeed. The two organs, that come under this ministry. I think you think, first of all, about the Tourism Development Authority. That's one. There's also, let me just be sure here, there's also this other one, which is the Institute of Hospitality and Tourism. Those two bodies, have they always existed? Or these are also fresh creations?
These are the two major parastatals we have under the new Ministry of Tourism. And they have their mandates individually. Like the NTDA, that we used to know it as NTDC before an act establishing a bill being passed and being assented by the president, which makes it to be NTDA now. They are in charge of promotion and development of tourism activities in Nigeria, while the NEHOTOR, that's National Institute of Hospitality and Tourism, their major mandates establishing it is training and involving all the training activities in hospitality and tourism. And recently too, the act establishing such an institute was passed by the president and by the former president into law. These are the two major agencies for now that we have under the new Ministry of Tourism that we call it drive the activities of the ministry.
Indeed. And we've often heard that, well, we know in other countries and also in our country that tourism is also a revenue earner, especially when people flock to a place because it will be because of tourism, that the development aspect of tourism, so it is very robust and people can go in there and they actually do plan to go in there. What in terms of revenue derivable from tourism, how rosy, how good is the picture?
The tourism activity is one of the key areas that contribute immensely to the GDP of the country, where it is well harnessed. For instance, in tourism, is a chain. You talk of transportation aspect, and unfortunately, the benefit derived from tourism, especially in Nigeria, is underreported because there is not enough statistics on that. When we pick the aspect of tourism, of transport, you see people outbound and inbound travelers, people coming into the country, people traveling out to embark on tourism activities. But most cases, we don't have the data. And that's why you don't see that aspect well pronounced. But that's the major point. When you go to the airport, people traveling out for tourism activities, leisure or medical, they are enormous. You talk of accommodation, hotels around. This is one of the major areas that employ people in the country. And the exchange of revenue that comes in from there immensely contributes to the GDP of the country. And again, when you see people moving around due to activities of the tour operators, when they are backing on tourism, people earn their living when they do that. And they move from one place to another, package tours and so forth and so forth. And again, with the world, how it is going, digital things is in vogue now. You see a lot of people sitting in their bedroom, coordinating activities of some tourists through packaging tours and so on and so forth. And the life, the way it's going, is going digital now. So in as much as some of the activities and tourism activities, there are places you have to visit. But this age too, in addition to that, digital way of doing all these things, they are now there. You go to would having Instagram, Twitter to promote some tourism activities, and through that, they are exchanging money that is good for the promotion or the GDP of the country. And you realize that in some areas where real tourism is being packaged and developed well, the rural area, the people there, they enjoy the entrepreneurial. They carry out the activities that they earn their living through that one. And you find out most cases now what driven Nigeria revenue head is all these small scale activities, businesses that you see around. So you see them being embarked on during certain tourism activities in Nigeria. In a nutshell, tourism contributes immensely to GDP in the country, though we are yet to have the actual data until we are able to go through, to be able to work on our tourism satellite accounts, which will give us the actual figure to do that. But it's very clear. Somebody having a hotel of about 50, 60 rooms, you can imagine the number of workforce that will be there. And they will earn their living, exchange money here and there, and through that it increases the GDP of the country.
There's so many fantastic tourism destinations in Nigeria. Agungun comes to mind. That's a major one. There's the Osun Osogbo festival, and so many others that we can think about. All of these, I think, even well as they are doing, they could all benefit from some further development, no doubt, because you probably want to continue to improve both the access and the facilities available. In this regard, I guess I could add on to this question, what would be your agenda, that is your body, the Federation of Tourism Associations of Nigeria, what would be the agenda you would set for the minister? That, look, if you're going to do well here.
Well, the Federation of Tourism Association of Nigeria represent the private sector in this industry. That's the umbrella body. We have different associations that are into hospitality, those that are into training, those that are into hotels, those that are into tour, those that are into travels. So all these people come together, and in the wisdom of government, they look for a body that they could be able to represent all these associations and speak in one voice. And that's why the creation of FTAN, Federation of Tourism Association of Nigeria, takes place. That's the main umbrella body coordinating associations that are involved in tourism activities, especially the private sectors. And with the new ministry or the ministers coming in, it's a good thing for her to come in. And the agenda is for her to start in a very speedy way.
Indeed. You're talking about Lola Adejon, an IT expert and IT and banking expert. Does that give you something that, that you sort of imagine can be leveraged in the ministry now? Because you're talking about some of these things that, look, we don't have the facts, the statistics, the figures, but the one thing that bankers and IT experts do have is figures. So quickly applying all of this to our tourism industry, our tourism sector, I imagine, would you agree that it's like a round peg in a round hole? It's one thing about culture.
Well, not quite, but this is purely an administration. And I'm happy with the way the Honorable Minister started. He made it known this is a new area she has come into. But we are confident with the way she started and her vision in driving tourism, in the sense that her background, being a banker, being an IT person, those things can be applied for her to be able to kickstart the running of the affair of the district, provided she's able to quickly end back on certain things. One, she has started having meetings with the ministry people, the government agencies, but she needs to start or to organize quickly too, to have a meeting or stakeholder meeting with the private sector, especially Federation of Tourism Association, representing the private sector in the industry, and other interested party in it. And again, why doing this? Major things that has affected tourism so far in Nigeria is lack of policy. We need to quickly, as a matter of urgency, now sit down to be able to bring on board, to have a robust tourism policy that will help the industry to grow. Fortunately, this is the only thing she has to do. Is tourism activity, unlike before, where tourism was merged with other agencies like information and all those things. They have divided attention. But this one now is the only thing that the President has called her to serve and to make sure that revenue is taken out from there. Then we have what we call PCT. That's Presidential Council on Tourism. It's one of the big areas that can quickly kickstart and make tourism activities worthwhile. And so she has to look at that and be able to look at activities that will be able to do that. Again, she needs to work with the government and the state governors. Most governors, they don't even know the value of tourism because they have easy money they come to Abuja to collect, whereas they are sitting on money in their various states instead of them sitting down to develop. So she needs to work with them, especially based on the Supreme Court judgment on 2013, that most tourism activities are in the state, so it's their preserved prerogative to be able to develop them. So she needs to use that power, and we do hope that she will be able to have that political will to work with them and strengthen this relationship to be able to promote tourism activities in Nigeria. Again, funding is another thing. That's why I said being a banker, she could use that. And fortunately, part of the bill passed by NTDA, you could leverage on that and be able to make tourism what it's supposed to be in Nigeria. Then she needs to work with maybe other ministers, especially works and defense minister in terms of security. Infrastructure. Most tourism destinations, it's difficult to access them. So she needs to look at that then so that those destinations to get to that place will not be difficult, especially by road. Then the security aspect we are talking about. You can see what's happening in the country. Then she can start with a low-hanging fruit, area that are really safe for tourism activities, then close ranks with them, while she's working with all security agencies to be sure that security is provided as expected to the potential tourists. Thank you very much.
Indeed, and it's a very, very important point that you touched on there, both for, indigenous, for internal tourism and indeed tourism that is coming from abroad, because these are perilous times, and so people want to be assured that they would be safe when they want to enjoy themselves, because that's what it comes down to at the end of the day, just taking a break, having a good time. And of course, while all of this is going, money is being made. So that is something that you touched on that the minister, no doubt, is also going to have to consider, because if people feel a place is unstable, then it doesn't matter how much you promote it, people will not be able to come. So I'm just so happy. Yes. Did you want to say anything? Because that's a very important point. Without stability and all the stories that we're hearing, I don't know if they affect major tourist destinations, but it is a thing that is that requires priority attention if this ministry is to succeed.
Yeah, right. They do. But in as much as some of these factors, especially security and how the economy is now, but we can, as a minister, there's a way it can be worked around. Let me take, for instance, the economy of the nation now. We all know what happens around. Before you even move around with your vehicle, you know how much you spend. By air, we know what is there now. But at the same time, people still make out time to relax. I have a family friend. They used to fly abroad during summer like this. But now, because of all this, they have to devise a means to be able to enjoy the holiday in Nigeria, which is still far cheaper. And
Indeed.
These are ways, until the economy becomes robust, these are ways we'll be cutting our coat according to our sizes. And there are some activities that ordinarily you don't need to spend much in embarking on it. Then the security aspect of it, she needs to work well with the media. And any opportunity I always have, I always plead with the media. There are aspects we can play down on projecting negativity about the country. There are areas that we have to look at the positivity. For instance, a caption, you just wake up and see, Kaduna is on fire. Potential tourists will be afraid to go there. Possibly,
Kaduna before.
in place is far from Kaduna town, maybe a village, and that does not even affect that. But whosoever that will see that news will be discouraged to go to that place. So we need to play down on some of the news. So the minister really have to work with media. There are some countries that some areas they are more volatile and dangerous than what we have in Nigeria. But you still find out that tourism activities take place a lot in those countries. So why is it that our own cannot happen that way? And I still believe it can happen, provided we do the right thing.
Let me bring on Mazi Okoroafo. Good morning to you, Mazi.
Good morning, our guests. So when we talk about our guests, good morning, when we are talking about the issue of this tourism, what is happening with Calabar, Ubudukatu Rent? What is happening with Lagos Theatre? What is happening with just wildlife? All these things we're talking about. Lagos, in those days, around that kind of 80s, when you go to Apapa during Lagos, during Christmas time, you see what is happening in Lagos. You see all those Ikeja sites, all these places. You enjoy Lagos during Christmas and church 247. But now what is happening? You see that the tourists or the manufacturers or the people into tourism are not willing to do it or what? Now look at Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, we know them as one of the retail stars of oil production. What happened? For the past 5 years or 6 years, they have done a U-turn into tourism. Different types of certain laws that was very, very harsh. They have now reduced everything.
So let's find out exactly. Let's find out from our guest because I imagine he was agreeing. Thank you very much, Mazi, for coming in on that. Things like the Yankari Game Reserve that he suggested, those kind of a thing. Would you like to comment on his contribution?
Yeah, thank you, Mazi, for coming up with this. These are very important things, and that's part of what I've been trying to put across. There are some of those tourist attractions and tourism destinations, just like he mentioned. But the truth of the matter is that it's just this political will I said. And that was why I said the minister, we have to work with the state governors. You find out most of those things that Mazi mentioned, they are domiciled in various states and they have chief executives that are in charge. For instance, you say Obutu Cattle Ranch. The way it is today, was it the way it has been? It's not the federal government that will go and do it or minister that will go and do it. He has to liaise with the governor. Then, before the private sector will now have confidence to invest and promote such destination. Like in Lagos, with the work the governor is doing there, you find that most of those destinations, it will be easily accessible in the area of maybe getting to such destination. For instance, as FTAN, private sector, what we started doing since last year, during the World Tourism Day, we make it as a point of duty for any state we are celebrating that. We must promote one destination for people to be able to visit that. Like last year, we did that in Lagos. It was very successful. We did it through waterways. We were on the sea throughout celebrating the World Tourism Day to be able to promote people that are into water transportation. And since that time, a lot of people have keyed into that to enjoy their life. So the most important thing is to have that political will to be able to encourage people that are involved and to be able to ensure that people that are supposed to develop such destinations, they are doing that. And with that, the whole thing will be story.
You know,
it will be a history and everybody will enjoy it. Indeed.
And I just want to thank you very much, Alhaji Aliyu, because it's a lot to unpackage. The minister, no doubt, is fully aware of this. And I imagine, like everybody else, we wish her the best. Certainly, your association, the Federation of Tourism Association of Nigeria, will be wishing her the best so that we can get to where we need to be and we can be in Nigeria as it relates to tourism. Thank you very much, sir, for coming on our program and enlightening us on these aspects of tourism and what needs to be done. We sort of barely scratched the surface, but we can do this another time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I do appreciate that.
All right, then. So that's Alhaji Badaki Aliyu, First Deputy President, Federation of Tourism Association of Nigeria, FTAN. And that's our program today. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am YORI FOLARIN. Bye-bye for now.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. Are you worried about the safety and security of your home at night? Do you wish to know when intruders come close to your home? Or do you want to protect what matters to your family from anywhere at any time? What if there was a convenient, affordable way to keep surveillance on your home without having to worry about